KBBT land. How are y'all doing? Sorry for the delay. Had some travel stuff going on. I had some technical problems going on trying to get on here. My internet, I'm wearing the gaming headset tonight instead of my nice professional setup that Greg provided me with. But we're here. We're here now. Thank y'all for being here with us. We're gonna go into some stuff tonight. It's not gonna be your scheduled programming. I apologize for that. We've had some stuff to deal with today, and I think we're just gonna get right into it. But Greg, man, how you doing?
It's been, man, I tell you, man, if this was easy, everybody would do it, right? This is unbelievable, man. I mean, let me say this. I've been in the business world for about 25 years, and I've been doing a lot in the business world for 25 years. And I don't think I've ever seen quite as much stuff that follows with this kayak community, man. It's pretty interesting. But hey, look, man, we're here to tackle it. We're not gonna run and hide. We're gonna address. I'm a kind of a guy that addresses problems head on. We don't sweep anything under a rug, and we're gonna talk about some stuff that's just in your face, man. It is. And look, man, it's a shocker, and it's gonna blow you away, and it's gonna be talked about, and it's going to be all over the internet. The internet will break, and but it is what it is, man. We're going to deal with it head on, and we're going to move on. So anyway, let's just get right into it, man. What do you say, Blake?
I think that's the only way to do it. Greg and I are still going to proceed on at a later date with the stuff, that we want to talk about with the bracket, where we're going with it, the ideas we have, run it by you guys, talk about that stuff, talk about what we've learned from the past brackets, but we're not going to do that tonight. But yeah, Greg, let's go ahead and jump into it.
Yeah, man. So here's the deal. Guys, we have rules. We follow the rules. It doesn't matter the angler or myself. I mean, we all follow a rule. If you don't have rules, you have the Wild Wild West. You don't have a tour. You don't have a tournament series. It was brought to our attention that Marcus was fishing in an area, and I'm just going to look. We're going to be honest. We're going to talk about everything about it. Okay. Marcus was fishing in an area called Lake Monticello. It's in Texas, and the area in the lake that I was actually a privy to, Matt Frentress actually brought myself and Marcus to this area at Lake Monticello, and I got to see the lake firsthand. Marcus has been fishing Lake Monticello during the tournament. Now, part of Lake Monticello, it's a huge lake. I mean, the lake is what I would say from end to end. It flows into Bob Sandlin, but from end to end of Lake Monticello, it's probably 5 miles, right? What do you say?
Like that. Yeah. I've never been on an area
of the lake. There's an area of the lake. Yeah. Well, it's huge, and there's an area of the lake that's by the dam. And it is an area that is buoyed off. I remember seeing the buoys, but I don't. Again, I was trying to fish the area, but my Hobie had a hole in it, and I had to go to the bank and try to deal with that. So I was basically sinking by the time these guys are going in there. But I do remember seeing pictures of Matt Frentress, Charner Williams, Marcus Coates putting up monster bass by the dam. The shad were being driven up, and they were throwing spooks by the dam and just crushing them. And several other anglers that have fished prior KBBT tournaments has fished this area, and the assumption was that this buoyed area that was by the dam was cleared by a game warden to be able to fish. Even though it was roped off, it was not a restricted area. Okay. But Marcus assumed that, other anglers assumed that, and come to find out that this area is indeed restricted. We verified by GPS coordinates of the fish being submitted. We did talk to Marcus, and we talked to the other anglers that they indeed fished in this area. Then Blake took upon himself to look at the areas that was submitted by Marcus during this tournament in the buoyed area by GPS coordinates. We went to Google Earth, looked at Google Earth, and where he was at, the areas that he was fishing in were inside the buoys. And then we called the game warden in Texas. And Blake, go ahead and tell him your conversation that you had with this gentleman.
So I called Jerry Ash Jr., the residing game warden over Titus County, and I said, "Hey Jerry, like, we've been hosting this tournament. We've been doing it a couple years. We've had some gentlemen fishing a particular spot, and I have some questions for you about if it's OB." And we went through the OB areas, being the outflow, the hot water intake, and the buoy markers at the dam. Yeah. So that's how the conversation went. I mean, that was all we needed to hear.
The problem is, exactly. So, and Cliff Allen says, look, man, you unmarked, no signs. The problem is it is marked. There is a restricted sign in this area, and the buoys are marked. And this is now a managed area by the game warden. So the area is now managed. The game warden manages Welsh, and he manages Monticello. And he's a very strict game warden. We understand. But regardless, but per Texas game warden is a restricted area. Okay. So that deems Marcus's fish illegal, plain and simple. By that definition, Marcus is being DQ'd from the tournament. He will not be fishing the championship. Blake Power is going to take his place. He will be facing Matt Conant. And you say, well, what about all the other guys? Well, here's the problem with that is, like, you guys had a 24-hour rule to dispute. Marcus is getting ready to fish the championship. We found this information. We researched the information. We did our own investigations. And because of that, Marcus is DQ'd. Now, look, here's the deal, guys. Do you understand how hard this is for us? Like, all friends aside, we don't care who it is. We have rules that we have to go by. We did the investigation. We went through extra miles to make sure that this was the right call. And unfortunately, it doesn't matter who you are, you have to go by the book. And it sucks because, look, man, it's not the way we want to do things, of course, creating this chaos. But from the rule standpoint and the integrity of the bracket and the integrity of KBBT, we had no choice but to DQ Marcus. I don't think this was intentional. I mean, Blake, I would say that you and I and everybody speaking to that this was not an intentional act. This was not purposely cheating or anything like that. I compare it to golf. The guy signed the wrong scorecard and we just move on, but he's DQ'd regardless. So, I mean, look, it is what it is, but from the integrity of the bracket, the integrity of KBBT, you have no choice but to make the DQ, move Blake up to the championship, and just move on. So it sucks, guys. It sucks, but it's the right call, guys. So
yeah, you know, when we talk about cheating, especially in KBT, we've had guys submit dead fish, we've had double submissions,
yeah,
you know, stuff like that. I at least in my eyes, I kind of view this as, you know, a boundary issue, which, I mean, even last bracket, you know, we have a guy that fishes with us that was in no way trying to break the rules. He just ended up towing his kayak over a boundary, and, you know, it said on air. For you guys wondering, like, hey, man, like, for the judges that are looking at this, what's going on? When I get your photos, because I was judging this, it looks like a dike. It looks like he is fishing off the end of a dike. And every fish you submit me, I'm not punching in Google Earth coordinates and going in and seeing is there a buoy line there. If you want to put the blame on me as the judge, I get it, but from what I get in my judging tools, I cannot see that. I cannot see that.
Right. Caleb asked, listen, we're not going to hide behind these comments, guys. Caleb asked, is KBBT doing everything to look for these issues for everyone nationally? Honestly, guys, here's the deal. When these fish, when this was coming up at the judging portion, it just shows like he's fishing at a dike. It doesn't show buoyed areas. I mean, we don't know. I mean, unless somebody catches them or somebody ratted him out. Look, here's the deal. We have a situation. He's in the national championship. Marcus is a guy that, is very charismatic, and it just so happened that somebody, called him on it. And we did some investigating work. Do I believe that this would have been called if he wasn't in the national championship? No, I don't think so. But because of the event and the way it's going to be, everybody's looking into this, and, it is what it is. I mean, we can't control what you guys do on the water. We don't know every single body of water that you guys fish, but all we do know now, if somebody brings this to our attention and we see this, we have to look into it. And then we do our investigative, things that we have to do. And if we deemed it illegal by the game warden, we have no choice. I mean, we have no choice, guys. I mean, it sucks, man.
I want to address Matt Kasparik's comment. So, Matt, yes, like we did use GPS to prove that. So, what I guess what I'm saying to you is, and I probably should have had this pulled up so you guys can see what I'm looking at when I'm judging. When I get the image, it shows me like the body of water, and then like a little point with the GPS coordinates, and just all I could see on this Monticello picture is that there's a dike, and then the point is off the way into this dike in the water. So I have no idea if that area is restricted. I've not fished Monticello. I know it's in Texas, and I'm in Texas. I've never fished it. And so once it came into question, I put those coordinates into Google Earth and looked at it on the dike. When you guys submit photos, I'm not going into Google Earth on every single photo and being like, is this in a restricted area? Maybe that's something with
Nobody
a judging
does.
tool.
Nobody does.
I don't feel like I'm being lackadaisical in that responsibility. I want this to be a fair tournament for everybody, but I couldn't see it on my tools. When we went back and looked through it and it came in question, I took on the responsibility of looking at it in that, and then calling the game warden myself to understand the rules. And that was the best I could do with that, man. I know that's just not a great like cure-all of, hey man, I'm going to catch every cheater. But and to be fair, I don't think this was direct cheating. But yeah,
It's
man,
not.
like
It's
when
not.
I'm getting these submissions from up north.
I want to answer Ronnie Alexander. Marcus is not suspended from KBBT. This is not a suspendable or a kick, a banned offense. That's not what this is. He broke a local rule of restricted waters per the game warden. And again, I don't think it was intentional. It is what it is. It's a buoyed area. It's an area that was restricted by the buoys, according to the game warden. That's what he says. He fished the areas. If he would have fished and threw the line from the buoy to the dam and fished that area without his boat being in there, it would have been fine according to the game warden. But because his boat went through the buoys, it was a blocked off area as restricted. Because you've done that, even if you didn't catch a fish in there and you fished in there, it's considered 100% illegal waters, and you got to move on. It's a DQ. So, guys, it sucks. It's not. I mean, guys, we're not here to cause this controversy and make this thing, to be what it is. That's the rules, guys. If we don't follow the rules, if we don't have rules to follow, I know there's gray areas, guys. I know that. But what if? No, guys, this is what it says. This is what it is. Your game warden of Texas says you cannot fish this area. He fished the area. He submitted fish from this area. It's a DQ, period. There's no discussion about this.
Matt Kasparic talking about how we keep integrity against other states, man. Like, Matt, dude, I wish we had something in the judging that showed us restricted areas in terms of keeping integrity with other states, man. Like, part of it's on the anglers, and like, there have been multiple instances, yourself included. Like, I didn't even think you meant to break a rule when that happened, but you kind of said that. I mean, we try to hold you guys as accountable as we can, but like, we're not God. We're not omnipotent. We don't know everything y'all do on the water. We take the tools we have to try to enforce the rules the best we can, and it's a national online tournament, man. It's not malicious.
It's not. It wasn't. But I'll say what was malicious. And there's a guy on here commenting, calling Marcus's sponsors and getting them kicked off the team. That's malicious. That's uncalled for. And dude, I'm going to call you out, Dustin Black. Son, I'm telling you, that's garbage as far as I'm concerned. You know that, and I know that. You've been after Marcus this whole week about what, trying to call him out, son. And we're going to call you out here publicly. That's garbage, what you did. Garbage. That's absolute trash. And I don't know who this Dustin Black guy is. I don't even know if he fishes. But this guy right here, man, that's garbage. That's malicious. So, son, I mean, unbelievable what this guy did. Literally got a call from New Canoe. This guy calls his sponsor and starts bringing this crap up. Great job, dude. Great job, man. Way to be your hero.
Yeah, I mean, for somebody just not understanding the rules and taking their buddy's guidance on an area that they didn't think was restricted, for you to do that is not only over the top, man, but just so incredibly petty and small. I hope you feel good about yourself, man.
Yeah, I mean, congratulations, man. Look, I mean, dude, there's no, like, all he had to do was call me and tell me about it. But to go around and listen, you should. How about the message I got, bud? I'll be happy to show this message that this dude sent Marcus. I don't know if you can read that.
Yeah, it's
yeah. Dustin, go ahead and sends a message to Marcus. Says, "Gotcha, motherfucker." At 6:27.
Nice.
That's nice, man. Good job, dude.
Real good.
Yep. So,
Preston Griner. Look, man. Like, can't beat him, so going to catch him, make a mistake, and get him DQ'd straight douche. Man, look, this is not on anybody else, and Marcus would tell you this firsthand, but Marcus made a huge mistake. He did not do his homework. Marcus is accepting full responsibility. While I'm sure he appreciate you sticking up for him, man, like, we don't need that. Like, he knows what he did is a mistake. Kasparic, I lick my wounds and own it. Not the same rule I was called for. Yes.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm sorry, man. I'm not saying it's the same rule.
Okay, so Dustin's continued to do this. Then tell your boy Matt Frentress, who actually submitted fish in many other tournaments, including the one he did with Conrad Benetti, then he cheated in the same area, my friend. I mean, I'll call Matt out on that too. He said he didn't fish it. He did. I've got GPS coordinates of the same thing. So your boy that that you're trying to protect did the same thing, dude. So let me go ahead and call Matt's sponsors on your behalf, man. How about that? That'd be great, right? Good job, dude. Awesome. Way to handle things, man. Way to handle things.
Yeah, sorry, Kasparic. Your and Marcus's deal is not the same. It's just what I was trying to say is like, without it being brought to our attention, like without you saying it and without other people like asking us to look into Marcus's stuff, like that kind of stuff is really hard to regulate. I mean, where you were submitting your fish from, we would have never known if you walked over a lily pad and cement mixture thing, And it wasn't until Derek Brundle challenged it, man, that we even called it on it. So,
Yeah. Well, dude,
Brad Kennan said, we're going to bring Matt into this. Greg Nozar. That's shitty.
We are. Yeah, we are, because absolutely, dude. and there's other guys that fish this area, but this guy Dustin is a good friend of Matt's, and I talked to Matt today, dude. I mean, I talked to Matt, and look, here's the deal, man. I know that this rule was broken. Okay, I know that this rule was broken, but dude, look, man, I thought that was a garbage move what this guy did. I mean, calling a sponsor over this, dude. Seriously, come on. Now, I found out other guys called NuCanoe on this. Come on, man. That's not right.
And Brad, just so we're perfectly clear on this, Greg and I both had talked to one of Marcus' sponsors today, and they were more than happy to tell us that Matt Fentress called them personally to talk about it. So for a guy that fished the same area and submitted fish from a similar area in a tournament, and then to like call Marcus' sponsors just to get at him is you may want to say that that's BS to talk about it, but I mean we're just putting that fact out there. That's what happened. I mean the sponsor told us directly. So
yep.
This isn't like a personal thing against Matt Fentress. Like I fish against Matt all the time. I have not had any bad interactions with Matt. Matt is a really good fisherman, but this did happen, and that's just facts.
Yep. Well, listen, I mean, and listen, there was not just Matt. I mean, there's other anglers that did it. I mean, you know, or in Marcus or whatever. I mean, but I mean, Charner, I've got GPS coordinates to say he did, dude. I do. So, I mean, but again, look, man, regardless, I mean, we're not going back and taking away all these other accolades from these anglers who fish that area. It's impossible to go back and do that because, I mean, there could be, 8, 9, 10 anglers that done it. All I know is from this championship and this bracket, we have to make this decision. I mean, it is what it is at this point. So anyway, it is what it is, guys. I don't want to get into a big pissing match over this. It is what it is, but Charter,
Charter, man.
And if that's the case, then I apologize. But dude, I've got the GPS coordinates and the exact same coordinates as Marcus's.
They're very, very close. Charter, we were not haphazard about this at all. We went back through all the Tourney X stuff, all the fishing chaos stats we have, and we looked at every fish submitted from that area. There was a lot of fish, man. And maybe he was throwing over the buoys, and it's so close we can't tell.
Yeah,
but it is so close. We can't tell, man.
I want to ask Charner a question. Charner, is there a sign? Yes or no? Does it say restricted? Yes or no? In all seriousness, I don't know. I hear some people say no, some people say yes. All right, well, whatever. Yeah, it's going to be Blake Power versus Robert says no. Charner says yes.
It's a so I will say that in Texas, most buoys
out the buoy line.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to agree with Charner here. I think most buoys in Texas have a "do not cross this line," that kind of stuff. But Charner, like, if you guys are throwing over the buoy and you call this fish, that's great. But where you're submitting the fish from doesn't look like it. And that's what we have to go on, right? Is your GPS coordinates when you submit the fish. So,
yeah,
look, anyways, like Greg said, it's this bracket. We see where Marcus's fish are from, and just to emphasize this point about,
let me say this: Marcus admitted that he was past the buoy.
Yes,
and so that admission on itself is good. I mean, look, we approached Marcus with it. He admitted he did fish past the buoys, and it is what it is, guys. I mean, again, all the other fish that was caught, prior to other tournaments and with other anglers, I mean, there's nothing I can do about it. You know what I mean? Until now, what was brought to our attention. So, yeah.
And that is one thing I do want to say, whether you love Marcus, don't like Marcus, Greg and I were very straightforward, Marcus, about did you fish over the buoy line?
Yeah.
Did you know it was out of bounds? And Marcus said flat out he fished over the buoy line. Never denied it, never tried to lie to us and say no, and then we had to go find his GPS coordinates or anything like that. And from another angler that has fished that spot, he thought it was in play. Preston saying this is a private matter, not blown up. Visiting angler will be blown up. That is not true. Regardless of who you are, we would have came on here,
right?
Told everybody what happened. No individual is bigger than the rules, KBT, any of that. I mean, Preston, look, Greg and I talk to Marcus every day. Every day, man. Like, we both like Marcus. But what he did is not within our rules. He is DQ'd, rightfully so. And we took every length we could to find out exactly what happened. We called multiple anglers that have fished this spot. I called the game warden. We looked at every fish he submitted from every round to see if there was a round that he had not used fish from there, or to try to see where he was using his fish from, if those casts were even possible from the buoy line. And that was what we came up with, man.
Yeah, and John asked a great question. Yeah, we do. We use KBF rules. There's no doubt about it. What do those rules state? The rules state that if you fish in legal waters or regulated waters, or waters that you're not allowed to be a part of, then it's an automatic DQ. I mean, that's what the rules are. I mean, it's like fishing a live event, John, to where if you were deemed fishing out of bounds, then none of your fish count, man. It's DQ. So, yeah. Thank you, Daniel.
Daniel, if due diligence is done to investigate, then time to move on. Man, it's not that we're not moving on, and we don't want to celebrate the final between Conant and Blake Power, but we're not going to dodge y'all's questions. Because
I'm like, look, you could have turned on the TV and it's like we could have swept this under the rug and said, "Oh, wait a minute, Blake's fishing. Where's Marcus? Why isn't Marcus fishing Matt?" We just try to sweep this under the rug, guys. We're not like that. Everything's on the table, guys. It is what it is. I mean, if it's whatever it is, you know how we are, we know how we roll. It is what it is. But guys, we have to uphold the integrity of the bracket and the integrity of the tournament. And I keep on not saying the same thing. I don't care if it's myself or anybody else. This is what it is, guys. We have to make the right call. It sucks. It's horrific that this is happening, but guys, this is what it is. We're going to DQ them. Blake's going to move in place. We're going to move on to another national qualifier. We're going to move on to the team bracket. Marcus can still fish with us. He knows where he can and cannot fish. Is he going to stop fishing Monticello? No, he's not. But he knows now where those boundaries are. He cannot fish those boundaries. And all the anglers know where those boundaries are or not. And then we're just going to move on. So, guys, it is what it is. Again, it's no different from any body fishing outside. So anyway, it's tough, guys. Look, man, it sucks. And I don't want to hear that we show favoritism. I don't want to hear that, we're just trying to make our buddies look great. No, guys. Look, I hope you guys know me more than that. I hope that you understand that I have, we have integrity here, guys, and it sucks. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be talked about all over the place, but it is what it is. You're going to see new graphics of the new championship. It's the right move, the right call. And we're sorry that this has happened. We're sorry to bring this up like this, but there's more to it, than anything else, man. Look, guys, I'm passionate about it. And I'm not going to apologize for my passion because, guys, you don't understand how hard we work to make this series to what it is. I wish you guys could be, spend a day with me and take I'll trade my cell phone with anyone. It starts from 6 a.m. and it goes until 10 p.m., 11 p.m., getting this tour and this tourney right. And look, man, if you guys know me and know my character, I'm going to do everything I can to make this an even playing field for everybody to have a fair shake at winning. And even if it means breaking hearts, even if it means, having a, you're one of your great friends and your buddies, having to get DQ'd, it still does not supersede the rules, and it's a tough decision. I still love Marcus to death. We're still going to be calling each other and all that stuff. He's still going to fish with us. He's still going to be broadcasting and all that stuff. The guy just inadvertently fished an area he wasn't supposed to fish. We're just going to move on, DQ him, just like Matt. What happened with Matt Kasparek? He took it and moved on. He's fishing with us in other events, man. It's great. It is what it is. So we got other national qualifiers. He's going to be able to fish those, and that's all we can say, man. So anyway, let's just go, man. And I'm sure he's going to be looking forward to kicking all y'all's butt again. So, and it is what it is, man.
Yeah, and I am fairly new at KBT, and I have heard a lot of the criticism from people and stuff, but like, don't get me wrong, man. When this kind of stuff comes up, Greg hears y'all. A lot of times people encourage you not to listen to naysayers, but Greg knows firsthand when he told me when I came on at KBT, sometimes the naysayers are right. Yep. And when you guys bring us a complaint, we seriously look into it. I mean, as far as the rabbit hole goes, we go. It is a nationwide tournament. It is impossible to police everyone, but we do the best job we can. And we take y'all's feedback seriously. I mean, when y'all bring that stuff up to us, we do not just say, whatever, jealous, whatever. I mean, we get at it. And when this came up, we sent the dogs on it, man. I mean,
yeah, we did.
It was an all-day affair to get all this sorted out. Greg was on the phone with multiple people. I'm calling game wardens, doing computer work. I mean, we do not take that kind of stuff lightly. No.
So anyway, you guys get the gist. You guys get the picture. I wish we could come on and have this happy-go-lucky roast podcast. We will eventually, but we're going to deal with this first. We got a championship to plan. It's still going to be broadcasted on Pride Network. We're still going to broadcast these guys. Blake and Matt Conant earn our respect and earn our views to watch the championship. They're going to put up a ton of fish. It's just going to be, awesome. I mean, Matt Conant deserves the respect he got from getting to where he's at. Blake Power made it to the Final Four. You got to respect that. And unfortunately, Marcus was DQ'd. Blake moves up, but Blake's going to take advantage of that and try to win this whole thing, man. So, I mean, I don't have a dog in the fight. Who's going to win this? I have no idea. But all I know is these two gentlemen are going to put up some fish, and I can't wait to watch it.
Man, Conant putting up career numbers, Blake Power putting up career numbers. Like, it's going to be great, man. And in terms of just being deserving, Blake Power is a grinder, man. And I'm excited for him, man. I'm excited to see what these guys are going to do. Robert Brown and I will be on the cast. It's going to be a great time, y'all. Thank y'all for joining. Thank you for your questions. No matter where they come from or how tough or uncomfortable they are, I do appreciate it. I know Greg does as well. Guys, sorry this is what we had to come on and do, but
hey, did I mention that the team bracket needs to be filled out, man?
Fill out the team bracket.
The North bracket's coming up the end of July. And, I mean, we got some brackets, man. So anyway, guys, it is what it is. Do me a favor. Just give it a day before you start reaching out to a bunch of people. Just give it a day. Listen, man, Marcus had to take a tough swallow tonight. I mean, it was a tough pill. Just give it a day, kind of let it ease out. And then, if you want to reach out to him, great. But let me tell you this, Marcus took this like a man, not once argued it, very upfront about it. And I'll be honest with you, man, if it was my shoes, it'd be like a little different story, but he took it like a man. And dude, I have way more respect for him now than I've ever had than I've ever seen him. It was tough, man, because dude, he could have won this thing. But of course, you know, who says he would have been here if he wasn't fishing that area anyway? But I mean, you still have to catch the fish, right? You know what I mean? The fish had to be there, and you got to catch the fish. But unfortunately, it is what it is.
He took it on the chin. He did not complain once. He said it's on me. I did not investigate enough. So for that, Marcus, hats off to you, man.
Yep.
Like, good on you, man. I know that's a brutal pill to swallow. And yeah, KBT, thank y'all for tuning in, man. I hope we answered y'all's questions in a manner that y'all enjoyed and found fitting. Greg and I are always available to.
Don't message me at midnight, please.
Yeah.
So,
but we guys. I mean, we appreciate y'all. You guys that sign up for these tournaments, that fish in these tournaments, that come on air with us and catch fish. Y'all are what makes this. It's not anything that Greg or I do. So. That's why we kind of felt the need to hop on here and let you guys know what's going on. So,
yep. All right, guys. Till the next one. I guess we'll see you a couple weeks.
Yeah, we'll be back with the final and then kind of the roadmap for where KBT is going.
Yep.
Y'all have a good night.
Thanks.